If I am alone, which my friends praise so much, then I am alone even when a heart attack is approaching, like right now, at 10:15 p.m. Of course, I'm not sure if it's a heart attack we're dealing with. On one hand, I'm well informed and I know that a heart attack can often be mistaken for a panic attack, which causes very similar symptoms, except for the numbness in the left arm, although I imagine that could also be somatized if someone is very adept at experiencing anxiety attacks. But aside from that, the shortness of breath, fear of death, and rapid heartbeat match. If someone has a work ethic like mine, they don't just drop everything, leave the computer, and put on their shoes barefoot in their pajamas to go to the nearest emergency room. Someone with a work ethic like mine goes through the possibilities in a disciplined manner. In this case, considering the likelihood of the aforementioned panic attack. At the same time, of course, they don't forget to look up the address of the nearest emergency room, so that if the palpitations become even stronger, by this, I mean if I look down at my chest and see that my left breast is unhealthily larger than the right, not just anatomically imperfect in a healthy way, but actually able to touch the wall, which is currently still 1.5 meters away from me and my right breast, then I know where to go. Thinking it over, it wouldn't be unpleasant to walk to the emergency room. It's a bit chilly, but I'd go in my tracksuit. Although I realize this would discredit the suspicion of a heart attack. If I walk into the emergency room in such a tracksuit, they'll immediately dismiss it as a panic attack. But before that, I'll run into some inconveniences. I've always dreaded having to confess every time I've used drugs, so that the doctors can keep me alive with that information, I'm thinking to myself while sitting in the emergency room waiting area in the tracksuit I ultimately decided on. Terrific. I've scraped the nail polish off my 2 thumbs, and my cuticles are bleeding from the picking, as usual. Just looking at them is a diagnosis of acute neurosis. On top of that, the chipped nail polish is cucumber green. You have to be very careful with these things because green nail polish in the right context is trendy, cool, and chic, but in an emergency room waiting area after 10 at night, partially chipped, it's junk, grunge, and dirt. Never mind, I tell myself, somewhat like a mantra, because I can feel my heartbeat responding to the shame caused by my appearance. At least it's good for dispelling my other paranoid thoughts. For example, those related to sewage data. London has the highest levels of cocaine in its wastewater. If something survives rat urine like that. Plus, they've already detected microplastics in human lungs. Or why couldn't the bubbled Teflon layer from the bottom of my water boiler adhere to the wall of my main artery, which I dismissed as just limescale because I was too lazy to go to MediaMarkt to buy a new one? It's possible that my other paranoid thoughts haven't dissipated after all. Never mind, I guess I'll just die now. Can you tell me what you've eaten in the past few hours? Curd cheese noodles. Curd cheese noodles, the doctor asks skeptically, almost reproachfully. Seriously, nothing is ever good enough for people. This whole thing is now about me being too young, too urban, and having too much cucumber green nail polish to like fat. I love fat more than anything. I made it myself. Lately, I've been making curd cheese noodles a lot, to be honest. For one thing, the smoked Mangalitsa bacon I ordered a month ago just won't run out, and everything is starting to taste like smoked Mangalitsa. And it doesn't suit everything, for example, almond milk, as you can imagine. Secondly, it's really easy to make. Thirdly, I've perfected my recipe to the point where, I must admit, I've elevated it to a fine dining level. Or at least to a dining level. The secret is to toss the very fatty curd cheese into the still hot bacon fat along with the sour cream, creating an entirely new substance. A fantastic substance. I eat it with regular durum wheat pasta. I don't understand what the doctor is talking about. Why wouldn't I want to make curd cheese noodles? Are you stressed? He asks. This is what I feared. That the hysterical laughter I keep suppressed in my stomach will suddenly break free. Every doctor, always. But they don't expect a real answer to this anymore. This question doesn't need to be answered in endocrinology. I'm there because of my stress hormone levels in the first place. I have it, it doesn't have me. It's not high in me, I'm low for it. I need to lay low here now. I'm even wearing sweatpants, and my nail polish is chipped. You're a virgin who can't drive. Excuse me. Nothing. I just remembered Clueless. Haven't you seen it? Brittany Murphy says that to Alicia Silverstone. They're both in fitness outfits. Brittany Murphy actually died because it turned out there was deadly mold spreading behind a hidden wall in their New York apartment, I add, so the doctor feels like they can talk shop with me. Then I mess it up. For a long time, they thought her husband killed her, but then he died too. The whole thing was mysterious, and then, only then did they find the mold on the wall. Awkward. I was thinking, I say to him again, because I'm not prepared to say what's now obvious, that I'm just having a common panic attack unless the healthcare system is in such bad shape that instead of treating me for a heart attack, they let me die. That something mysterious, invisible, intangible is causing this with my heart too. In short, I'm not calm. My blood pressure isn't okay either, but he points that out too. Through the roof, right? I talk shop with him again. I almost pat him on the back, but I can't do that. I'm wearing the blood pressure monitor and can't even look at my arm at times like this. It's a good thing there's no device to measure the fat between the chest and armpit because I'd faint from self-loathing. Maybe there is one in mammography, but, well, unfortunately, we'll never see that. Oh, please don't ask about this now. I think this curd cheese pasta might also have something to do with it, he says, and talks about my esophagus, probably reflux or something like that. I can't really pay attention. I'm too focused on not suffocating. Anyway, obviously it has to do with the curd cheese pasta. I'm not stupid. And yes, chronic stress causes panic attacks. No kidding. Just stick a Seduxin injection in me, and I can be on my way. Question. If you're at the emergency room, in sweatpants, with chipped nail polish, suspected heart attack, but confirmed panic attack, do you say that you already took half a Xanax before coming, or do you just let them give you the proper dose of sedative? Oops. I would have mentioned it, but it's too late. My friends forget that when I have to walk into the emergency room alone and then walk out alone with a sedative injection in me, the journey that normally takes about 13 minutes can stretch to an hour. No one should say there aren't enough trees in the city, because on my way home, I touched every single one of them, and I can tell you, there are quite a lot. Plenty.